Many homes have poor thermal performance. Drafty, poorly insulated homes leave those living in them cold, uncomfortable, and struggling with high energy bills and dangerous mould. Generating all this wasted energy has a big impact on our environment too. Whatever building work you do, from refurbishment to extensions to deep retrofit projects, your work can make an impact on the energy efficiency of people's homes. Part L of the building regulations provides guidance on energy efficiency. It covers the thermal performance of a building's fabric and heating systems. Part L requires heating systems to be designed to a maximum floor temperature of 55 degrees Celsius. This is to ensure that condensing gas boilers run efficiently and to help get homes ready for low carbon heating systems like heat pumps. The lower the floor temperature, the better, as heat pumps operate most efficiently at floor temperatures below 40 degrees Celsius. To meet the low floor temperature requirements, you will need to do heat loss calculations to choose appropriately sized radiators and pipework. You'll also need to consider how the heating system interacts with existing and planned fabric improvements. Part L provides target U values for the building fabric. These apply to both new and renovated elements of dwellings. New elements include the roof, external walls, and floor of an extension. Replacement windows and doors in an existing structure are also new elements. The new elements have lower, more demanding U-value targets than renovated elements. Renovated elements include the roof, external walls, and floor of an existing structure. If you are adding or replacing a layer on more than 50% of an external wall, roof, or floor, then the Part L targets apply. That means re-roofing, replastering, re-rendering, or reflooring are all regulated under Part L. These common building jobs are good opportunities to install appropriate insulation, and you may need to do so to meet the building regulations targets. Part L also has targets for improving the airtightness of buildings. These targets only apply to new builds, but for existing buildings there is guidance on measures you can do. Part L suggests sealing around surface penetrations when installing pipework and draft proofing when installing windows. This can make a big difference to the thermal performance of a home. When you're doing airtightness work or installing insulation, it's important to take a risk-based approach. Considering risk and planning mitigations means that you can avoid introducing unexpected problems or causing damage. Moisture is a big risk in retrofit. It's covered in Part C. When you're insulating a suspended ground floor, high moisture levels in the subfloor can damage joists. The same goes for high moisture levels in the roof when installing a cold loft space. Ventilation is key to managing this moisture, and Part F has more on that. If you're insulating an external wall, you'll need to consider moisture too. Choose appropriate insulation approaches to avoid interstitial or surface condensation, as well as penetrating damp. The way that you install insulation also matters. Gaps between insulation materials and other elements can create thermal bridges. These gaps can also cause thermal bypass, where outside air gets between insulation layers or goes around the insulation altogether. These quality issues greatly reduce the efficiency of insulation and can cause damaging condensation and mould, so take care to ensure that insulation is properly installed and gaps are mitigated. There are other parts of building regulations that interact with Part L too. Part J covers air supply requirements for fuel burning appliances. Part B covers fire safety, and Part O addresses overheating. Understanding the interactions between these different regulations helps you to manage risk when improving a building's energy efficiency. After assessing the risks, you may decide that meeting the Part L targets would cause problems. If meeting a target U value isn't technically or functionally feasible, you can have a higher U value, up to 0.7 watts per square metre Kelvin. and further exceptions apply if necessary to protect from the harmful effects of interstitial condensation, avoid excessive cost, or address heritage factors. Calculating the U value of each thermal element is one way of complying with Part L targets. If you're working on simple energy efficiency measures like topping up loft insulation, this elemental approach is a good fit. But another approach is to model the performance of the whole building using SAP. By considering the whole building, you get greater design freedom and can trade off U values. That's useful when some elements underperform due to risk and context considerations. If you are working on a deep retrofit with multiple measures to consider, a modelled approach may work best. By considering interacting risks and implementing Part L's requirements, you can make a positive impact on people's homes and on our environment. For more information about how the building regulations interact with retrofit, check out the links in the video description.